Oh Lord, I think it's about time I go off on a rant. And I mean a real rant, not this pussy shit I've been doing before when I just kind of talk calmly and, occasionally get heated. I'm talking about an actual rant. Now, this is a topic that has been pissing me off for weeks now. And it has to do with the financial aspect of Magic and why people, for some reason, still feel the need to complain about how expensive this shit is. I get it. Everyone says it. You don't need to say it anymore. Everybody knows this game is fucking expensive. Even for standard, I hear this all the time. New players who want to play the game, they can play it all the time because for some reason, it costs hundreds of dollars to make a standard deck. Well, guess what? You know why? Because supply and demand is a factor in Magic the Gathering. Go figure, one of the basic fundamentals of economics applies in this game. Supply and demand. People want to play with these cards, so they're going to be more expensive. Don't come into it if you're like 16 years old and still in high school and thinking that, I'm going to go win a fucking Grand Prix with this deck that other pros have been playing standard for years are suddenly playing with. You're not going to do it. But I hear this shit all the time. I always hear someone, whether it's a friend of someone who's trying to play, they want to teach someone else, but they can't afford shit because they're only 16 years old and only get paid by their parents' allowance or something, and they can't get a fucking job because they're only 16. That's all I fucking hear. I need the game to be more affordable for me because Bernie Sanders told me I could get free shit. So now you have Generation Snowflake. They come around and they want all this crap for free. Well, guess what? There are other formats in Magic the Gathering besides Standard. Just because other people can afford to play in a format that's expensive and extremely high maintenance, that's what Standard is. Don't get on their case and say, they need to make the game cheaper. Pander to my needs, wizards! They're not going to do that. Fucking idiots. Everyone get some goddamn brains and shit and figure this shit out. Economics is not that hard. It's not that hard. You don't need a master's degree to understand this shit. It's basic supply and demand. They're not going to lower the... You would have to go to every fucking single seller on TCG Player and ask them, hey, can you lower the price of this card to pander to me? Because I'm cheap and I don't know how to fucking pay for anything. I'm a fucking cheap ass. They're not going to do that. They never will because they need to make money too. Owning a game store is not that profitable. Go figure. But guess what? They're not going to lower the prices of their singles, their cards, and all that shit so you can make a really good deck that's winning fucking Pro Tours and Grand Prix. They're not going to do that. They haven't, and they never will. Sorry if that's a disappointment for all you 16-year-olds and younger who are trying to play Magic. I know Wizards, they're trying to pander to you with all these online fucking games and shit. The fucking Android games and mobile games, they got goddamn Bejeweled Candy Crush ripoff that they're trying to sell to people now. I mean, come on. And they even have that goddamn board game that no one liked. They're all an attempt to try to appeal to younger kids. Come on. Alright, I understand. Wizards of the Coast, they're really messing with your head with this shit. But don't ruin it for the rest of us. We can afford shit because we're in our 20s, 30s. We can afford shit because we've had income. Okay? We can afford this shit. If you live off your parents' allowance and, birthday present money and Christmas money, don't complain to me when you can't afford a $100 deck. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Wait till you're old enough to afford this shit, old enough to get a good paying job and afford this shit. I don't know what to tell you. It's basic economics. It's a luxury. You don't have to play Magic the Gathering. Surprise, surprise, you don't have to play the game at all. Oh my god, no one's putting a fucking gun to your head and saying, you have to play Standard or you're just never going to know how to play this game. Even if you, for crying out loud, you don't have to play Standard. You could even play Pauper, which again, if you pay more than $40 for a Pauper deck, I mean, that's a bit excessive. You can get a good deck and have fun in that format for just $40. That's main deck, sideboard included. So I don't want to hear from fucking kids or parents or this game is too expensive. So guess what? play Pauper, fucking play Commander, because those two formats combined are cheaper than anything you'll ever invest in Standard. It's the highest maintenance format that we have, but for some reason, this just blows people's minds. They can't get past that. Oh my god, Standard's supposed to be the entry-level format. I can't afford shit. Because Standard's the most expensive format. It's not Vintage, it's not Legacy, it's Standard. If you are a long-term Standard player, you will be spending way more money long term than you ever will just paying, what, 15 grand to build a good Vintage deck. You will spend pretty much that much in a year on Standard shit. I guarantee you. Or very damn near close to it. So if you've been playing Standard for, like a couple decades, guess what? You've spent more money playing Standard than you probably have if you've tried to play Vintage. I guarantee that. Vintage really isn't that expensive. You just pay a lot of money initially. But you always have the people that say, oh, reprint the cards on the reserve list because I can't afford anything and I need people to pander to my needs, and this $10,000 card should be pennies because it's my opinion. First of all, fuck your opinion. You're just a stupid kid and you don't understand shit. You don't understand basic economics. Come on. Supply and demand. It's not that hard. I will explain it to you slowly so you can understand. When there is a supply of anything, if anybody wants it, the price goes up. If people start coming to your store and say, hey, I want such and such, I want this many copies of Ulamog, the new Ulamog. I want, 4 copies of this dude. The price is going to go up a little bit, and if even more people come to get it, it's going to go up significantly, because that's what happens in supply and demand. If there's a high enough demand, the price will go up accordingly, because people want to make money, and they say, hey, there's an opportunity to make money because this card's actually selling. Let's do that. If you can't afford to play Magic, guess what? Don't play Magic! You bitch! You scrub! Stop having all these dreams and shit that you're suddenly going to be Donald Trump if you're like poor as shit. You're not going to be Donald Trump in this game, okay? Stop thinking you're going to be a rich bitch in like a year just playing Magic the Gathering, coming out of nowhere. Again, it's a process. It takes time to learn how to play games. It takes time to acquire cards. It takes time to be good at this game, okay? Don't try to fucking ruin it for the rest of us. It's not that hard. Again, you don't have to play Standard. You can play Pauper. You can play fucking Commander. You can play Limited Constructed, which is just as good. Again, learn how to play the game through Limited Constructed, cheap shit that you don't have to invest a lot of money into. But anyway, if you like this video, subscribe. Bring out more of these. I have a ton of other videos, but thanks for watching my videos right now. Thank you.